lot of summer camps here. So Delaware State was kind of like home. My mother went here. A lot of my family members went here. And I honestly did not want to go here until I realized that when I went on other college tours and I saw their campus, and I was like, this is not like Dell State. It's all open in the city. It's a little dirty. Like, I might as well go back to Dell State. And it was literally the best decision that I ever made. Coming to the College of Agriculture, so in undergrad, I was a nutritional and food science major. And back then, in 2006, when I came here, it wasn't like it is now, where nutrition is such a big, I mean, it was important, but it was more in a hospital standpoint. Like, you know, you had to eat healthy if you had some kind of disease or, you know, a health condition. But nowadays, you know, everybody's into health, everybody's into working out. But back then in 2006, when I said I was a nutrition major, people were like, "We got that? Oh, that's at Dell State." And so I really, you know, we kind of built the program from ground up with Dr. Basong and a lot of other people. But I wanted to come here because it was family. It really gave you that family feel, and everybody knew your name. You weren't just a number. And I think that's the beauty of this program. You know, it might seem like, compared to other schools, like, oh, we don't have a lot, but just looking at this table, even me, like, I'm like, dang, all these people graduated from Dell State, like, look at the big things that they're doing. So it just goes to show that if you work hard and you really put the effort in, no matter where you come from, even if it's a small program, and I mean literally, like, you know, my master's degree program, it was 3 of us at Dell State with food science. So, I mean, even if it's small, even if you feel like it's only one of you, you know, it doesn't matter, because I'm literally living and doing what I spoke in 2006. I didn't get there in a straight line, but I'm doing exactly what I said I did because the people at Dell State believed in me.
I can piggyback off that a little. So I am a native Delawarean, but I'm also a non-traditional student. So are any of you non-traditional? Okay, all right. So I went to University of Delaware at part-time for many years, and I realized I needed to take this serious, and I was tired of being swallowed up in a large class of 300 plus students, and I wanted to be more than a number. And a friend of mine convinced me to come down here and tour Dell State. And I transferred in with more than 60 credits, and I graduated. I did very well. It was very nice to have that intimate connection with your professors, and it gave me the opportunity to get the job done, which was my mission from the beginning. Is like, all right, I played around enough with my undergrad career. I need to get done. I had 2 kids at home. I was trying to work full time, and by coming here, my professors worked with me closely enough to be able to do it, and I enjoyed it so much that, I guess I did so well that they offered me an assistantship to go on and move into my master's here. So it was a really positive experience for me.
I'll piggyback off Marcia's, because I was a non-traditional student as well. I'm not from Delaware. I'm from North Carolina, and I started at the University of Nebraska, all the way out in the middle of the country. And I could relate to the big number. I was just a number there. There were very large classes. It was a very large wildlife program. And it was hard to get connected and to find my niche where I fit in with that. But here at Dell State, I found my niche here. It was a small enough program, as it's been said before. I was very well connected with professors with undergrad research opportunities, and it was those undergrad research opportunities that allowed me to pursue my master's and allowed me ultimately to be where I am today. So.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry?
I think you want to say something.
I guess I can. You know, 20 people here, but basically I came here because I was an 1890 scholar, like I said, and so my main thing was I just wanted my education paid for. I had done a little bit when I was in high school. I had interned a little bit in accounting, and I knew that I kind of definitely liked the business route. And it just so happened my sister, she was here in 2006. And so she was aware of the 1890 Scholars Program, and she was aware of the scholarship and kind of, you know, some of the benefits and the perks to it. And so when I graduated high school in 2013, she strongly encouraged me to, you know, at least apply in an agriculture discipline, because as part of the scholarship, which, you know, Ms. Owens is here, so if anybody has questions, I'm sure you can talk to the USD 1890 Scholar Liaison. But basically, at the time, I'm sure the program has changed a little bit, but you had to be in an agriculture field. So even anything that kind of had something to do with agriculture, even agribusiness kind of counted. So I said, okay, I'll major in agribusiness, which I did. And I applied for the scholarship, and then I got it. And so, undergraduate was paid for. And it also had an internship, so I interned in DC in the summer times because I knew that I wanted to work in the federal government. I like DC and I like, the USDA. So I went and did that whole thing, and then when I graduated, I went back to the federal government. So I'd say, just from a very practical standpoint, even if you're not super passionate about agriculture, there are definitely a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities, study abroad opportunities, educational opportunities to get your graduate school paid for. Like, I'm sure a lot of the people who have their graduate degrees here paid less than, or if anything, compared to some of the peers that were also at the school. So I definitely say agriculture, you can find an area that you like, and it's so broad, it's so overarching. We have plants, we have animals, we have research, we have production. So you can, government, regulation, all of that. So if you kind of have an idea, you can kind of lean towards that and then hopefully get your college paid for. Because what you want, and which a lot of people, hopefully these people need to tell you, is that you do not want to graduate with a bunch of debt, especially not for a bachelor's degree. Like, a bachelor's degree is nothing these days. It's like everybody has one basically in the workplace. So if you can get that 4-year degree taken care of, paid, whether you got to do the 2 years, and then the Del Tech, and then 2 years here, or however you do it, if you can do 4 years here, whatever, I'd encourage you to get that bachelor's degree paid for, because when you graduate, you're going to have your rent, you're going to have your car insurance, you're going to have all these things, that nobody really talks about. I mean, in DC, the going rate for rent is like $1,600 a month. So if you have $300 or $400 student loan payments every month, in addition to that, it's like, well, how are you supposed to live? So I would say, be strategic. I mean, if you have a passion for agriculture, definitely follow it. But if you are looking to get your education paid for and looking to have money when you graduate, maybe you can find somewhere in agriculture that can take care of you and kind of, help you thrive.
So, looking back, what were some ways you invested time in preparing for employment or graduate school outside of the classroom?
I can talk on that one. So, when I was an undergraduate student, I was also working on the farm. I used to work with Dr. Delia O'Brien to do with sheep and goats. And everyone that knows me know that I am a workaholic. So I stay at work. Marsha can attest to that. Her son think I live in the lab at the farm for a long time. So what I used to do is I work a lot, and I tried my best to do internship opportunities, apply for what I can. I presented wherever my advisor allowed me to present, and that made her and other people interested in having me for a master's program. So I got offered for 3 master's programs while I was presenting a presentation at a national conference. And both the 3 people that walked up to me actually gave me their cards and told me that they'll pay for my master's if I come to the University of Texas or Texas A&M, and then someone offered me from University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And I turned all 3 of them down because I love Delaware. I actually loved working with my advisor and working with the sheep and goats at the farm. So I stayed here. And when I was doing my master's, I used to be here hours. Like, even though we weren't 100% required to be here past 12 o'clock at night, we would be here. Kalana can tell you, we were here at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
Security
would
would put
I
us
would
up.
set the alarm off, and he'd be like, oh, just checking, making sure it's you, Kalana. I used to be like, oh,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
but a part of that, the reason why I did that is because Del State is united. Like, most of the faculty here helps us as students to actually try to meet our goals. So if they help you, as I'm a faculty member now, and I want to pass on what was passed on to me, and they help as much as they can to help you to steer you in the right path. And even so, presenting again, I got offers for PhD programs, and that's how I went and did my PhD. So from my master's, I paid for my first semester of school, and I never paid with my undergrad. I paid my first semester of my undergrad. I never paid for school again in my life, and I have a PhD. So what Kyle said, what Kyle said actually does work. If you actually put yourself out there and try to do your best, then what will happen is someone will cover it. Like, you're gonna get paid for doing what you do because you do all that you can.
And Kwame is being modest. Like, I don't want you to think by any stretch of the way that it's easy, because it's not. It is definitely a sacrifice. So I graduated. So tell me the part again, because I feel like.
Looking back, what were some ways you invested time in preparing for employment or graduate school outside of the classroom?
I would say definitely, I was big in SGA, so I ended up being the student class, like the senior class president for my class, and I was able to speak at graduation. I also pledged a sorority, and I think one of the big things that worked in my favor is that I was, I don't want to say like well known on campus, but I just made sure that I had connections outside of the College of Agriculture. And I think that's extremely important when you look at longevity of your career, because my master's was paid for by somebody in the college in microbiology. She was a microbiology professor. I didn't even know I knew who she was, but I didn't interact with her personally. But because people know your work ethic and how you carry yourself and your reputation, it far spans past the College of Agriculture. And so I think it's extremely important to get involved in things that stretch you. It was important for me to be engaged with other majors and other people, and I'm so glad that I did, because I don't work. Now I work for the FDA in Silver Spring, but I actually work for the drug side of the FDA. And in addition to favor, that's nothing but the fact that I'm able to be versatile. And even though I'm not the expert, the subject matter expert, I work hard to make sure that I know what I'm talking about and know what I'm doing. So I work with all pharmacists, and I have a food science degree. But nobody would know that because I'm on top of my game. And they come to me for answers, and we're regulating drugs on the market because everybody is working toward a common goal. So don't think that you're just going to be around the people who are in this classroom. When you get out in the real world, it's going to be important that you can work with people. People who I'm good with people and I talk a lot, but there's people that you're going to have to work with who don't talk. The hardest thing I ever had to do was work in that lab. Kwame will tell you that was a test of my faith for real, because I am not somebody who's in a lab pipetting anything and just everybody's quiet and research. It wasn't my thing, but I made it happen because it was a point in my life that I had to get through, and it obviously got me the degree. But you have to be prepared to do things outside of your comfort zone and mix and mingle with people so that you can be successful in whatever field. That goes for any field, but especially with such a small department, I think it's important to get engaged outside of this. SGA is a great way to do it, a sorority is a great way to do it, a fraternity, whatever your niche is, different clubs that they have on campus is great because it's going to expose you to a lot more, and there might be an opportunity waiting for you in that.
I want to add that manners. So I'm not the manners advisor, but manners, manners is actually one that actually helped me, because I actually went to a lot of conferences. I've never been to Colorado until I went to manners. So the minorities in agriculture, natural resource and related sciences organization. That was the first time I went to Colorado, and I had to present a paper at Colorado, and I actually met a lot of people outside of my area that was willing to give us opportunities outside of them.